Usually I'm wanting to buy all of the company, so I would just leverage the fuck out of that. I just think that's gonna trade at a higher multiple. Dude, the fact that you haven't lost a fucking customer is big, right? I mean, fuck, who hasn't lost a customer in COVID? So I'll give you what I would do. And then do you have a roadmap of what you, all right, as long as it's not a fucking cumbersome process. If there's 200, let's get 20 more of those. I just gotta think it's fucking competitive as shit. How much do you own? What does this year end up finishing at? So what's the extra million for? Any more questions for me? What I'm looking for investment-wise now is interesting founders, founders that are, just passionate, have a drive, and an idea, and it's a big idea. If they've kind of got proof of concept, they've got some customers, they've got some ideas, and they're either needing that next level of inflection for scale or for growth, then that's where I really like to kind of come through and really understand what their biggest challenges are.
There's a kid in here earlier this week, he's my age, but he's raising, $1.5 million on a, $10 million valuation for a SaaS that's, early stages. This was an opportunity for me to get maybe 15% of a company, help him out and get him to where he needs to go, because I've played journeys. Business is business, right? Fun for me. I may make a couple bucks out of it, maybe not. I may lose, who knows? But there'll be lessons out of that, right? Whether there's money or not at the end of the day, we'll find, but there'll definitely be lessons. There'll be learning out of it. And that's what I like to do. I love to, talk to entrepreneurs, look at deals, consult.
You guys are further along than like me just coming in and taking over. I think you guys have more than proven it, right? So let's just leave your valuation where you ask it, right?
If I can add some value and impact, that's kind of where I am in my life now.
It's important that they've had some failures.
If someone hasn't been through a cycle, you come to me like, hey, my name's Jeremy, I've got a 7 out of 7 business strike rate. I don't fail, I just execute, I'm a fucking gun. First off, they're lying, right? And let's pretend they're not, then they don't know how to actually handle the failures.
When everything goes well, you feel invincible, and that's when you start to make bad decisions. It's really that learning through the failure that makes you better. So the name of the Delk Enterprise, it's strategic capital, right? So it's cash or resources that, cash equivalent, but it tends to be a much more hands-on approach, because that does two things. One, it helps me hedge my investment, just because I'm helping out, just like any investor wants to take a board seat or whatever, but it helps those pieces out and helps me hedge it a little bit. And it's something I think I can actually make an impact on. I really want to kind of come in and offer more than just cash. And that's sometimes my time, whether it's coaching, using some of my systems, using some people on my team, whether they're using my digital media team, my finance team, legal, what have you. I've got a whole finance team, right? I think you keep Garrett still, but I don't think he's the finance guy. That's really where I like to kind of get more involved. I find that does two things for the business owner and for me. One, it lets us have a much more detailed and intimate relationship, because they're using the same type of people that I'm used to working with, and maybe that's part of what they're raising capital for, is to find those individuals to help go through. So if I can insource it, it solves the problem. And we would do this with my team here. I would develop a multimedia digital ad coming and put ad spend, and I would pay the ad spend to go after, because it's so targeted. All you gotta do is tell me these are the 10 people that you're using in university. You can find them all. It's fucking public information, and I can market the shit out of them. Gives me more comfort because I have people that I trust and know that are actually on the project, and it helps de-risk my investment. So it's a win-win. I'm able to get most likely and most often a result for these business owners and entrepreneurs much quicker and oftentimes much cheaper. Now you're even more attractive because, like, hey, you've now owned this component and now I want to be it. I just think that's going to trade at a higher multiple as opposed to being one of the other. It's my opinion. And then the last is the problem, right? That's really where I kind of tend to excel. And it's been very much industry agnostic, right? I don't care if it's a building materials company, you're in construction, you're in tech, marketing, sales. If there's one thing I've learned, business is business. So most things, looking at it just in that approach, you can make a pretty good comparison and just try to apply those simple pieces of customer-centric, what do the customer need, how can I add value to them, and go deeper, not necessarily wider with the relationship. If you have something, hey, this is what we like, we have the team that's right here that says, hey, let's go through and lay it out, go through and design, and then that way you can actually mock it, like, hey, let's make it this and move, so it's more interactive. Yeah. As long as you have some sort of vision, they can create whatever you want. So when they're having those problems, they're hitting, growth planes, whether it's a system component, hiring processes, that's where I can really like to add value. And truthfully, that's the fun part for me. That's why I'm not just a passive investor. I really want to be able to kind of come through and bring something to the table as an investor. Hey, I should be a resource, and a lot of my pains and troubles and experiences that I've went through will hopefully save those business owners and entrepreneurs to do it.